Have you ever looked at an interstate sign, say, I-95 or I-10, and wondered why it's numbered that way? Why is I-95 on the East Coast and I-5 on the West? Why do some highways have 3 digits, like I-405 or I-275, and others just 1 or 2? And what's up with numbers like I-99 that seem to make no sense at all? Here's the wild part. Every single one of those numbers follows a pattern, a system, a code, if you will. And chances are, you've been driving through it your whole life without even realizing it. This isn't just a geography lesson. This system tells you where you're going, how you're getting there, and what to expect, all with just a few digits. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of America's most brilliant pieces of infrastructure, the hidden logic behind the interstate numbers. The U.S. interstate highway system didn't just appear overnight. It was born out of war, politics, and a bold vision of a connected America. In 1956, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the Federal Aid Highway Act into law. Inspired by the high-speed autobahns he saw in Germany during World War II, Eisenhower believed America needed a similar network, one that could move troops quickly during war and connect people efficiently in peace. The result? Over 47,000 miles of highways crisscrossing the country, linking cities, rural towns, and everything in between. It changed how goods moved, how families vacationed, and how businesses grew. But it wasn't just the pavement that made it powerful, it was the system behind it. That's where the numbers come in. Let's break that code. Once you learn the system, you'll never look at a highway sign the same way again. Let's start with the basic rule. If a highway has 1 or 2 digits, that means it's a main interstate, the big ones that stretch across the country. And here's the trick. The numbers tell you both direction and location. First, direction. If the interstate number is even, like I-10 or I-40, that road runs east to west. If the number is odd, like I-5 or I-95, it runs north to south. So just by seeing whether the number is odd or even, you already know which way you're headed. Now, let's talk about location. With even-numbered roads, that's the east-west ones. The lower numbers are in the south, and the higher numbers are in the north. So, I-10 runs through southern states like Texas and Florida. But I-90? That's way up in the north. Think places like Illinois, Ohio, and even Seattle. 4 odd-numbered roads. The ones that go north to south. It works from west to east. I-5 runs along the west coast, all the way from California to Washington. I-95? That's on the east coast, from Florida to Maine. See how it works? Just from a number, you can guess where you are in the country. But it gets even more useful. Along every interstate, there are mile markers, those little green signs with numbers on them. And they don't just count miles, they show you direction too. If you're on an east-west road, the mile markers start at 0 on the west side and count up as you head east. If you're on a north-south road, they start at 0 in the south and count up as you head north. So if you're on I-40 and your exit number is getting bigger, you're heading east. If you're on I-95 and your mile marker goes from 40 to 50, you're going north. And that's not just for convenience, it's life-saving. Truckers, ambulances, police, even GPS systems rely on these numbers to know exactly where something is or how far they are from a city or state line. Once you get the system, it's like cracking a code. You can tell what direction you're going, how far along the road you are, and where in the U.S. you might be, all just from a sign on the side of the highway. Pretty smart, right? But hold on, we're just getting started. Because next, we're going to talk about those strange 3-digit interstates and the secrets they hide. Now let's talk about those 3-digit interstates. You've seen them before. Maybe I-405 around Los Angeles, I-275 in Florida, or I-610 circling Houston. They might look random, but they're not. They're part of a smart system that tells you exactly what kind of road you're on. Here's the rule. 3-digit interstates are always connected to a 1 or 2-digit parent interstate. Think of them as children of a bigger highway. Take I-405, for example. It's a loop around Los Angeles, and its parent is I-5. Same with I-275. I-275, it loops around I-75. And I-295? You guessed it, it's part of the I-95 system. So how do you decode these three-digit numbers? It's all about the first digit. If it starts with an even number, like I-405 or I-610, it's usually a loop or a bypass, a road that goes around a city. If it starts with an odd number, like I-195 or I-395, it's a spur, a short road that branches off from the main highway and usually leads into a city center. Let's break that down. Say you're driving on I-95 up the East Coast. When you hit Washington, D.C., you might see signs for I-395. That's a spur. It shoots off I-95 and takes you into the heart of the city. But if you're heading into Baltimore and you see I-695, that's a loop. It circles around the city and reconnects with I-95 on the other side. Pretty clever, right? These three-digit highways help reduce traffic congestion, give trucks and through traffic away to avoid busy downtown areas, and help cities manage flow better. Now here's something even cooler. The last two digits of the three-digit number usually tell you which major interstate it connects to. So, I-280, I-380, I-580, they're all connected to I-80, I-465, I-275, I-375, connected to I-65, I-75, I-75 again. In short, the first digit equals type of road, loop, or spur. The last two digits equals which highway it branches from. Of course, there are exceptions. This is America, after all. Some cities have multiple spurs and loops with confusing numbers, and a few highways have switched designations over the years. But in general, the pattern holds. Once you get it, driving feels different. Suddenly those random-looking signs start telling a story. You're no longer lost in a sea of numbers. You're in a system, a smart one, designed to move people efficiently, whether they're crossing the country or just trying to avoid downtown traffic. So the next time you're on I-275, you'll know you're looping around something, not just passing through. And if you take I-195, you're probably diving into the city core. There's something powerful about understanding the roads beneath your wheels. Because when you do, it's not just travel anymore. It's navigation with confidence. So now you know the logic behind the numbers, and maybe you're thinking, cool trivia, but why does this matter? Here's why. Understanding the interstate system isn't just about numbers. It's about understanding America itself. These highways connect every corner of the country. They carry our food, our families, our freedom. And once you know the pattern, you'll never look at a road sign the same way again. But yes, there are exceptions. Like I-238 in California. It shouldn't exist because there's no I-38. Or I-99 in Pennsylvania, which breaks the rules just because a congressman pulled some strings. Even I-86 shows up in two different states, on two totally different roads. It's not perfect, and yet it works. Because what matters more than perfection is consistency, and this system delivers that 99% of the time. So next time you're driving and see a sign for I-80 or I-495 or I-15, you'll know exactly what it means, where it goes, and why it's numbered that way. That tiny bit of knowledge. It turns every highway sign into a secret map, and it makes the everyday feel a little more extraordinary.